Welcome to another NRL show from Sportsfan Radio. And tonight we're going to talk about State of Origin, give that a little bit of a preview. We're going to look at the problems at Manly and whether Anthony Seibold's in a little bit of trouble. We're going to review round 15 results and also look at what's coming up in round 16 of NRL. And so, very good evening to Paul Dalligan.
Good evening, Professor. I'm in what we call enemy territory as a Sydney sider, zooming in from sunny, well, not so sunny now, but Brisbane. Just weighing up where I'm going to watch the big match tomorrow night. Do I watch it in the famous Caxton Hotel, where, as we all know, Queenslanders are famous for rocking the bus with the New South Wales team in it? I don't know if they have a visitor type experience there, or I could get the local bus. Someone will give it a bit of a rock, but I might just watch the game and try and keep myself to myself, if you know what I'm saying, Professors.
Well, it looks like your shirt's having 6 each way, Paul. There's some maroon stripes and there's some blue stripes.
It almost looks like a Roosters Club shirt, heaven forbid. But yeah, there is something for everyone here in this shirt. But tomorrow night I'll pick my shirt carefully. I don't know if it'll be bright blue. I can tell you that much. I'm not that crazy.
All right, the State of Origin over in Perth, Paul. Some ins and outs. Queensland have lost Beau Fermor, the forward, and Dale Cherry Evans. In Kurt Capewell at the number 12, will that make a big improvement for Brisbane?
Oh, he's what they call the footballer's football at Kurt Capewell. He won't let them down. And I'm having a look at the odds, which we talk about occasionally, but just to show they're right in this, Queensland. I genuinely think that they will win. Heaven forbid me saying that, but I think it's good for the game if they do. I think the game itself would love them to win, and to have a live game 3 just not far from where I'm sitting would be amazing for the code.
Paul, in the New South Wales side, Mitchell Moses is out injured. He's covered by Jerome Luai. Is that a like for like, or would you prefer Moses to be playing?
Well, of course, they used to play together. It's game 3 in Sydney. Sorry, forgive me. We won here recently, so I prefer probably Mitchell Moses there on the form that he's in. But we will see how they go back together again, Cleary and Luai. I don't think that Queensland minds too much that Moses is out. He's in career best form.
Mitchell Barnett, the Warriors player, did an ACL, so he's out.
Yeah, he's a real trooper. We're talking about footballers. He's the guy that just, I don't think people know how hard he works, how vigorous this game is, and he is going to be a big loss. But I think New South Wales has enough depth to cover him. But having said that, what I'm worried about is 3 players, Harry Grant, Kalen Ponga and Cameron Munster. Grant's been out injured, but on his day he is amazing. You've got Munster, who's been surprisingly given the captaincy duties. If there's 2 words I could use to describe Munster, it probably wouldn't be captaincy material, but I'd go more with words like enigmatic, mercurial, but he's the captain and it may work a treat. And then Kalen Ponga at the back. There's 3 players that could break New South Wales if they don't get off to a good start.
Is Matt Burton one of the most unlucky players going around? Any other year he'd be playing in the Blues side.
Well, he's got to be, in the way that Canterbury's playing as well. I'm surprised perhaps he wasn't subbed in, but the reason they've gone with Luai and Cleary is they've got that chemistry together. They've won Origin together and they've won 4 premierships together. So you can't argue with that combination.
Now, some news out of the New South Wales camp tonight. Brendan To'o's carrying a tendon injury, but the coach said he will play.
Well, he's one of our best players, so I'm hoping that he suits up out there, out wide. So we will see what happens. But I'm expecting a very close match. And as I said, as much as I hate to say it as a proud Blue, I think Queensland may shock us and surprise us the way they've been doing for how many years now? 30 odd years. They've come back off the canvas and managed to win against all odds.
60,000 expected in the stadium tomorrow night, Paul. There's a couple of tickets left, but it's one of the hottest tickets in town at the moment.
Well, that's fantastic for the game. And those that doubt the Perth Reds, I think, undersell exactly how much passion there is in Perth for the fine game of rugby league.
Now, the only 2 other times the games have been played in Perth, New South Wales has won both. In 2019, they won 38-6, and in 2022, they won 44-12. So 2 convincing victories for the Blues, Paul. That might be playing on the Maroons' minds as they run out tomorrow night.
I think it will be, and it's going to be a fast pitch there again. 32 points. I'm not sure why that is. Both times they've won so convincingly, but it's obviously a happy hunting ground for New South Wales. But I just don't want to back against what is a very proud team in Queensland. And yeah, everything tells me New South Wales should win this, but how many times have we said that for how many years? I just think it'll be a lot closer than people expect.
Any thoughts on a final score?
I think 18-12 to Queensland. And Cameron Munster with the captaincy armband on to be best on ground.
Okay. Manly, an insipid, I would call an insipid performance last weekend. Seibold, according to the newspapers, is coaching for his job over the next few weeks. Paul, he held 7-minute individual meetings with each player, advising them of where they were coming up short. Your thoughts on that?
7 minutes, very precise, not 5, not 10. It's quite precise there. I don't know whether he needed as much time with each player, but it's an unusual technique, singling out players. Perhaps I like it more than roasting someone in front of the team, which a lot of coaches do. I don't like that style of management or leadership, to blast someone when you could have a private chat with them. So if you want to compare it to an office type role, I'd prefer the one-on-one if you were my boss, Professor, than you giving me a bake in front of everyone.
7 minutes. I was thinking that maybe Seibold's had some experience in the dating world with those moving from chair to chair.
I wondered where you're going to go with that 7 minutes, but yes. I could. Anyway, no, we won't go. No.
Speed dating, Paul. Perhaps
I did that once. Yeah, perhaps. Anyway, so so sorry.
Not going there.
No, that's all right. It's okay.
Now the Trbojevic brothers are
to the cleaner. Sorry, not to yourself, Professor. So, yeah. But I won't go there either. So, yeah.
The Trbojevic brothers are both out of contract at the end of 2026, so they can be signed from November this year, Paul. So things that have to improve. Otherwise, they might be in doubt about staying at Manly.
Well, they're very loyal to the Manly club, but everyone has their limits and everyone has to look after the family, particularly given how tough we're seeing this game can be, and it's a short career. I do know there's been times when they've considered leaving about various incidents that have happened at Manly. But loyalty has a price, and if they don't believe that the team's going in the right direction, I wouldn't blame them to look around as a combination package, much like those Cloak brothers where you had to buy 3 to get the one good one. The dad was handling the management. So the thing is with the Trbojevics, and no disrespect to the non-Travis Cloaks, I think that they would be a good buy, all of them. You don't have to buy a couple to get a good one.
Now, Paul, the Dolphins, over the past 3 weeks, 158-18. They've beaten the Bulldogs 44-8, the Dragons 56-6, the Cowboys 58-4. And the week before that, they just lost to the Warriors, who are, as we know, in form. They must be the hottest team in the competition at the moment.
Well, I'll check the tape, but I think after 4 rounds when they hadn't won a game, I think we might have been close to the Red Pen, but they would have to be the hottest team in the comp. Well, the Raiders have won their last 4, but the Dolphins, in terms of the way they're playing, has been amazing. And that coach who came with big raps is getting the most out of that team. Isaiah Katoa is going to be one of the most improved halves in the competition, playing amazingly well. And like I always say, any good sports person, he seems to have more time than everyone else, to the point where the players around him are having to time their runs in line with him because he has so much time that he can set them up rather than having to rush things, which is normally the case with players not as skilled. So he has the luxury of being able to time the runs of his oncoming players, which is quite a skill.
All right, Paul, let's review round 15. Only 5 games. The Sharks 30, the Dragons 18. 6-18 at half-time. The Sharks looked in real trouble, but put the foot down in the second half.
They did. I'm still talking them up, the Sharks. I don't know if as much as I was at the start of the season, but that was an impressive performance from the Sharks. The Dragons, though, I think it's more about them. They're woeful at the moment. They really are struggling, and a lot more was expected of them, perhaps not on this show, though.
Red line, Paul?
Yes, Dragons gone. And the coach has got an unfortunate scenario where he keeps backing his son, not only to play, but he's coming out and publicly backing his son it'd be a tough position to be in. Be fine if your son's Nathan Cleary, but Kyle Flanagan, no offence, is no Nathan Cleary. So the coach is stuck with the nepotism bell ringing quite loudly there at the Dragons.
Now, Schooner wouldn't have been happy with this. I said insipid before. I've written horrible under Manly's effort. The Titans, who we've got the red line through, 28. The Sea Eagles, 8. 22-8 at halftime. The game was virtually over then. Anthony Seibold is in a bit of trouble, I think.
Well, as you went with insipid, I don't think we've used that word before, and I can't remember using the word putrid, but we'll throw them both, unfortunately, at Schooner's mob. There are some good players at the Titans, but no one expected that, including myself. I do have to point out, though, at this stage in the season, I don't recall this ever being the case. If you look at the ladder, from last to eighth is 4 points, which is 2 wins. I can't recall a closer competition. I'm not saying that any of the Tigers, Rabbitohs, Knights, Eels, Titans could threaten, or the Dragons, who we just put a pen through. All of those teams can make the 8 if they find a form reversal. No one's gone. No one in the whole comp. Even the Titans could sneak into the 8, believe it or not.
The Knights 8, the Roosters 12. Paul, your wasn't the big D guarantee, but it was a special. Took till the 70th minute to get across the line.
Yeah, got there though, and maybe I go with those muted bells instead of the town crier from here on in. Good win though.
I thought the Knights should have won, Paul.
They should have actually. That's why I'm glad I didn't declare it a guarantee. The Roosters got a bit lucky there on the bell, but you've got to be there to win it, and they were there in the position to get it done. The Knights are really finding some resolve, and I'm hopeful that they can go on a run into the 8 because they're a great team to watch.
The Dolphins scored 10 tries, 58 to the Cowboys 4. It was 22-4 at halftime, but they scored 4 tries in the last 12 minutes. Someone was out there just moving the witches' hats in the end. Bostock got 4 tries. He should have had 5. The easiest one in the 79th minute. I think he thought he was already across the line.
He did, and maybe that's pride comes before a fall, as Confucius said. I think he counted out his 4 tries, which I thought was a bit cocky, but they are playing amazing football, and the fact that happened at the home of the Cowboys is shocking. So that's really unfortunate. Some of those fans travel 3, 4, 5 hours to get to those games to North Queensland. It's an insult to their fans. I can't put it any higher than that. It's not good enough, and there's something really wrong at those Cowboys.
Rabbitohs 18, the Bulldogs 24. Lightning didn't strike or strike twice, Paul, but the players left the field.
That's right. They had a bit of a delay there. And anyway, so the Rabbitohs were gallant in defeat, but the Dogs were just too classy. There were times there when your boys looked really good. Galvin is fitting in well. Some thought, including myself, it might be a disruption, but it's proven to be a masterstroke so far. If they're not premiership favourites, they should be very, very close, the Bulldogs.
Toby Sexton scored half the points, Paul.
He did, and unfortunately he'll be a casualty from Galvin coming in. It's quite a cruel irony of how tough the game can be, both physically and in terms of loyalty. So he's been told to shop around, and yet he's winning you possibly a premiership. So it doesn't get much more cruel than that, Professor.
Quite right. Okay, let's have a look at round 16, Paul. It starts Friday night. Only one game. The West Tigers 13th playing the Raiders, who are second. Last year, about the same time, the Raiders were doing well, albeit not as well as this year. The West Tigers won 48-24. Can you see a repeat?
Not with the way these Raiders are playing. As I said, they've won their last 4. They're playing very well. They're not too affected by Origin. A big one, literally a big guy to watch out for is Jed Stewart, the son of Sticky Ricky Stewart, the coach. And he's a big fella, 6'4" in the old scale, Professor. You'll be able to spot him out on the wing. He's been playing very well, but Ricky's the opposite of Flanagan. He's actually not wanted to pick him, but players have pushed them to not worry about how it looks. And he's been told to get him into the team. So I'm looking forward to watching Jed Stewart.
Not having the same. He won't have the same trouble as the Dragons coach with his son.
No. He's a gun. This player, and he also won't be in charge of the team when he's playing out on the wing. You can't have a playmaker as your son unless he's a gun, and that's a very tough situation for Flanagan to be in. I'd hate to be there.
All right, the Saturday 3:00 game, Paul. The Warriors in third place play the Panthers in ninth. The Panthers have already announced that their 5 State of Origin players won't be backing up because of the travel from Perth, and they're not going to take them then on to Auckland. Former Panther James Fisher-Harris, he's having his first run out against the Panthers. Your thoughts on this one? I think this is probably one of the matches of the round.
I would say so if they had their players there, but it's shocking scheduling. I mean, you've got Origin on Wednesday night in Perth. It's a fair trip just to get back to your home base in Penrith, let alone the extra 3 or 4 hours across the Dutch to New Zealand. So on the back of that, they're also backing up next week, if you don't mind. So I just can't believe the fixtures there. I mean, they're playing on Thursday night next week. So I have no idea who came up with that, but they must have presumed that they'd be able to manage without their players who play Origin. But instead, for once, the Panthers are fighting to get into the top 8. It's terrible scheduling, and I feel for the Panthers. They will not beat the Warriors with that team. Sorry.
All right, the late afternoon game, Paul. The on-fire 6th placed Dolphins, who are plus 146 in the points column, playing the very disappointing Newcastle Knights, who are 15th. This one's being played in Perth, Paul. So all the State of Origin players who are in those teams can remain there and wait for the other members of the parties to come over.
Well, they can, and it's a fair team at Knights. Bradman Best, our favourite named player in the game, is there. You've got Ponga backing up at the back. Dominic Young is back from the Roosters to line up on the wing, but I just think that Dolphins team, wow. If Hammer backs up from Origin at fullback, it's going to be something. And I think that this Dolphins team, wow, they're looking amazing. So I can't see the Knights winning. All
right, the nightcap on Saturday night. Rabbitohs, your Rabbitohs, Paul, 14th. Very tough ask against the Storm, who are 4th.
Well, it's just unfortunate, beyond unfortunate. The Rabbitohs' horror season, more than half the team out injured. Jai Gray, the little pocket rocket at the back, he's out 6 to 8 weeks with a fractured thumb. Colin Matungi's got a fractured cheekbone. Jaden Sullivan, the backup halfback's out as well. It's just unbelievable, the run of injuries that they're having. Lewis Dodd, the English $800,000 a year buy, he's lining up, so we'll see what happens with him. But it doesn't seem that Wayne Bennett has a lot of confidence in him. I can't see us beating the Storm, particularly if they all back up from Origin, the Storm players.
All right, Paul. Now 3 games on a Saturday, Super Saturday. There's 3 games on Sunday this weekend, so it's a Super Sunday as well.
That's it. So lucky I'm not still married. It might make it difficult on the marriage to have 3 games back-to-back, Saturday, Sunday. But I'm looking forward to it. Broncos Sharks just around the corner here will be some sort of game. I'm thinking the Sharks could possibly win that. We'll see who lines up from Origin. It's always tough to tip, though, depending on who comes back from Origin. But I will stick my neck out and say the Sharks will win.
Will the Broncos bring Selwyn Cobbo back from the reserves?
Well, he's been named in the reserves, and we'll see. But I think he'll probably play. I just think the pressure's a bit crippling on the Broncos, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the Sharks win this game. So we'll see what happens. Nico Hines, if he wants to show that he's still a rep player, this is his game.
The intermediate game on Sunday, Paul, the Roosters, who are 6th, playing the Cowboys, who are 10th. The Cowboys might be 10th, but they're minus 106 in the points differential.
They're playing terribly. They've got a couple of players coming back, but we'll see if the big in is Tom Dearden. If he backs up after Origin, they might be a chance. If he doesn't, no chance. So I just think the Roosters are playing too well at the moment to take care of the woeful Cowboys.
All right, the 6:15 game, the Cellar Dwellers, 16th playing 17th, the Eels playing the Titans. Not the best scheduling of a match, Paul, and Campbell Gillard, the moustache, he'll be running out against the Eels for the first time.
He will, and I think the Titans, the form they showed last week, I think that it'll carry through. The big out for the Eels, of course, is Mitchell Marsh. So I think that the Titans will win this game. Dean Hawkins from the Rabbitohs, tradesman-like player, he's back in. Dylan Brown's suspended, and Mitchell Moses is out. That's why I think the Titans are favourite, and they'll get it done.
Mitch Marsh looking for a return to the Test cricket team?
Yes, he is. Yep. Mitch Moses, sorry. So yeah,
I was going to say. Sorry, Paul. I couldn't resist.
They're both great players on their day, I tell you. But I just think the Eels, the Titans. Well, there's a lot of talent in that team, and they're starting to find their straps. As I said, the way this season's gone, they could even sneak into the 8. I know that sounds absolutely insanity, but who knows with Des Hasler there.
All right, Paul. Before we go, one thing: is there a special for this weekend?
Not at Origin time, I can't, and I'm looking through it. I mean, I will guarantee that the Dolphins and Storm win, and the Warriors, Dolphins, Storm. Happy to own that trifecta as a guarantee, if you will, but it's like IMG bank odds, so it's not a whole lot of value there. They'll all win though.
So does that get the bell or the muted bell?
It gets the trifecta tee off, I guess, if you want to call it that. So terrific trifecta for the followers.
All right, Paul, we should remind the viewers that they should press the like button, which is just below us on the screen, and also they should subscribe to the channel, because not only do they get your terrific evaluation of the NRL each week, but they also get to listen to the Gelding and I on a Saturday and when we talk racing.
That's it, the double. Always good form. So we're looking forward to Origin. It's going to be a cracking game. The ratings will go through the roof, I think, if Queensland's in this game. And I think a lot of people, neutrals, will be going for Queensland, which I don't mind at all, because it's great for the game. Origin's our showpiece, and I wouldn't be surprised if Queensland gets the chocolates when I'm here in Brisbane, but we'll see what happens.
All right, Paul, thanks for your views tonight, and we'll do it all again next week.
All good. Thank you.